Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Amanda Brock. I'm the CEO at Open UK, and I'd like to welcome you along today to episode 6 of State of Open Subset. State of Open Subset is Open UK's digital learning and teaching, following on from the State of OpenCon. State of OpenCon took place for the first time in February 2023, and look out for news soon of State of OpenCon 2024, coming to social media near you and Open UK's newsletter. If you haven't already signed up to Open UK's newsletter, you can do so at the top of every page of our website. Today, episode 6 is being presented by Carla Gaggini, and Carla is the head of content, events and community at Container Solutions, based in London. She's also a CNCF ambassador for 2023 and was CNCF's marketing committee chair in 2022. And today, Carla is going to talk to you about community and building a diverse community and sustaining it. Now, nobody can tell you more about that because Carla has been really instrumental over the last few years in building the CNCF and Kubernetes communities, not only here in the UK, but globally. I'm really pleased that Carla is joining us live today, and you can ask questions in the chat. And then at the end of the presentation, you'll be able to talk directly to Carla. If you'd like to give a State of OpenCon presentation, drop us a note at admin@openuk.uk.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be here at the Open UK State of Open Subset Talk with all of you today. As you might have guessed from the title of the talk, the plan for the next 20 minutes or so is to talk about inclusive communities and how to maintain them. Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds, and that's why I've broken down the agenda in 3 main parts. So first of all, we're going to start with some definitions to make sure we are all on the same page. Then we're going to tackle the building part, the how to build an inclusive and diverse community. And the third part is going to be about how to maintain the community you've built. And of course, at the end, I'm going to wrap up with some key takeaways that hopefully are going to help you with your process of building your community. Right, so let's start with some definitions then. There is a great quote by the inclusion strategist Werner Meyers that says, as you can see here, diversity is being asked to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance. So basically, this is the party that you want to attend. It's a party where everybody is aware of each other's differences, but they understand them, they welcome them. People are aware of their unconscious or conscious biases, and they're trying to overcome them. It's a party where people can speak their mind. It's a party where everybody is respected, no matter their gender identity, their sexuality, religion, political views, you name it. And last but not least, it's a party that no matter how proficient of a dancer you are, you're gonna get to dance anyway, or you'll have someone to show you the ropes. The second definition is, and the second question we want to answer is, why does it matter? Right. We are here today because, we live different experiences. And while it's the open source community that brought us together, there is another fundamental element that makes us and communate us, which is that we are all humans. And as human beings, we all have the same yearning for authentic connections and belonging. And in order to create a true sense of belonging, a space where we don't need to change who we are, we need to start from knowing ourselves, knowing who we are from the inside out. And that's how we can manage to build really a space for others as well. The last question is actually why me? Why am I here today? And it's actually why us. I'm Carla Gaggini, and I'm an expert in content and events. I work for Container Solutions. I'm an Open UK ambassador. I'm a CNCF ambassador. So I really believe in advocate for open source and spreading the cloud native word in the ecosystem. But I actually wrote this talk with my friend Jade, who's not here today. But hello, Jade. And we wrote this talk because at the end of the day, we really care and we wanted to share our experiences and hopefully really help you with your journey in building communities. So without further ado, let's kick off the build phase. The building, when you want to build your community, you want to build a space that feels truly inclusive. But to make people feel included, you need to make them feel represented in a way. And for the space to be representative, everyone needs to be heard. And if you want to hear everyone needs to be feel safe so they can speak their mind. The question that we ask ourselves when we were building this in this internal community first is, how do we create this safe space? How do we create this sense of belonging and connection? What does the foundation look like of this internal community? And the answer was that, like I was saying earlier, you really need to start from the individuals. And the individual, first of all, they need to know themselves. We need to know ourselves and to have the courage to explore our identity. And once you do that, once you do this encouragement, we decided to give everyone a voice and give them the opportunity to create a shared value system that will start from the individuals and then into teams and then into the broader company. So as you can see here, we involved all the departments in our internal community, in our internal companies. You can see from finance to the executive team, marketing, etc. And what we did is to run a series of workshops across all the departments. So why did we choose the workshop format? It's because the workshop, no matter the way you like to express yourself or to communicate, it gives you the opportunity to say and set your opinion. And it's a very collaborative way to give everybody the opportunity to contribute. That's also why we didn't run workshops with more than 8 people. And again, this was to give everybody the opportunity to really express and to really share their voice. So what I'm going to do now is actually share step by step how we build this shared value system within our company. And if you have a good memory, I'm a bit jealous, but if not, you can even start taking notes from now on. Right. So when we started from the inside out, the first step we took during this workshop was to ask everybody the opportunity to select some values that meant a lot to them. And there was tons of values, and the goal was to just put as many as possible. But after that, we also asked people to prioritize the top 5. And with this prioritization, we gave them the opportunity to really reflect on which ones were the most important for them. After that, we gave people the opportunity to see if there were similarities between the values. What value appeared more than once, and what were the big differences between values that people wanted to discuss? For example, a word like humor and fun, they are similar. They don't really mean the same, but there are commonalities that were highlighted. Once we got all these individual values, we started to bundle those into themes. Again, here it was very important to discuss, because words mean have different meaning for different people. So the aim of this conversation was to create a shared understanding, even of the word fun, that can mean something different for myself or for another person in the workshop. So the goal was really to find a common ground for this. And after we created to this shared understanding, we went a step beyond, and we started to get a wider understanding of these values and how they would look personified. And that's why we started to associate famous people with the values. Like, for example, you can see there David Bowie, who's associated to creativity, or Yoda, that associated to knowledge. And the step after that was actually to create a sort of mashup of this character, where the limbs and parts of this character would represent the values. For example, the heart of the character would represent the courage. The holding hands would be collaboration. Of course, the result was a bit ugly, but it was also a lot of fun, and it really helped us visualizing our values. And lastly, it's really important to highlight like how our character, our values are associated to behavior, and that's why the last step of the workshop was to take our characters and discuss how they would behave in a specific situation. Like, how would the character behave if they saw a building on fire, or they saw someone in need? What would be their reaction? And eventually, we had characters with values, with behaviors for every single team, because we revert back to step 3, trying to bundle them into theme. And at the end of the whole process, we were finally able to get the core values of our internal community. And here they are. As you can see, I'm not going to go through all this because there's a lot of words in this slide, but as an example, what we did was to kind of summarize the result of the workshop into every single value. And if you look at creativity, you can see that it's about experimenting, it's about taking risks, having fun. These are all the elements that were kind of discussed, and they were the outcome of the workshops. And this was our strong foundation, our solid foundation of our shared value system. So then, of course, we ask ourselves, how do we we have these internal values? How are they reflected? Like, how those internal beliefs are gonna be externalized into the wider open source community? And that's where basically I think that the pandemic kind of helped us, because in 2020 we were a brand new team. We had a lot of ideas and a lot of ambitions, but then you know what happened. And because of the pandemic, we had the opportunity to really re-strategize and look at what we wanted to build, and to build actually a community with purpose. And the result is our brand and publication, WTF, is cloud native. And the core goal, that the golden circle of this strategy of the WTF is cloud native, was actually to increase the understanding of the cloud native world through content, through ideas, through events, through initiatives, to build a better and more innovative tomorrow. So this was our why we were building this community. And so ultimately, WTF is cloud native is an ecosystem by the community, with the community, and for the community. How does it look now? We've got over, I think it's actually over 4,500 subscribers now to our newsletter. We run 14 by monthly collections. We run over 30 what the fucking hours. We run one virtual WTF is Cognitive conference, three WTF is SRE conferences. One just happened last month, actually. And we run 11 podcast episodes. So it's quite a rich portfolio. But what is actually interesting to analyze now is how are the internal values of the internal community actually reflected in the external community that is WTF is Cloud Native. So let's have a look one by one so we can kind of build and understand how the true connection really is. So the first value that I showed before was trust. And trust is based on the principle that if you feel safe, you show up holistically as an individual, as a professional, as a community member. And when you show up holistically, you are not only bringing safety for yourself and your opinion to the table, you are also building a foundation for every other member of your community to feel safe and to bring themselves to the conversation. That's why we cover so many soft topics in WTF is Cloud Native that are not soft at all. Like psychological safety is not a soft topic, neurodiversity is not a soft topic, but these are topics important to be covered and to make sure that this trust is established. The other value we mentioned is creativity. And again, this is quite important because we're all different. We all learn in different ways. We all consume content in different ways. We prefer to read, we prefer to write, we prefer to listen. But the main point here is that when we decide to create content, we want this to be as accessible as possible. And creativity really helps with that. And creativity also helps you to have fun, to take risks, to make mistakes and learn from them. If you attended any of our events or webinars, you can see that we truly we like dressing up and we like to have jokes and gossip and costumes, etc. But that's because it's another way to come together as a community and to have our shared values together. And again, the pandemic, when it hit, it was a curveball that nobody was expecting. And yet it gave us the opportunity to really think outside the box and reinvent ourselves. The other value, another crucial one, is collaboration. And of course, if we had all the answers, we wouldn't be asking WTF is microservices, WTF is product strategy. But who has all the answers anyway? And that's why we have open call for papers. That's why we have external collaborators from all over the community. That's why we really encourage first-time speakers, first-time writers to kind of build and be in this journey together. And we couldn't be more grateful to whoever crossed paths with us at least once in our community and collaborated with us. Another value here is purpose, and this is again a part of the foundation of an inclusive and diverse community, because at the end of the day, we all want to do something meaningful. No matter small or big, we really want to leave our contribution in the open source and tech ecosystem. And that's why, Amanda is organizing events like this, and that's why we have ambassadors at Open UK, that's why we have ambassadors at CNCF. This is all an effort to make sure that we are driving our purpose and we are contributing meaningfully to the community. So these are our values. And it's great on paper, that's awesome. But how do we make sure that we all ourselves accountable and make this process scalable as well? How do we make sure that we really live by these values? And I have to say, there's been times when, people didn't want to collaborate with us because of the cheeky name or whatever other reason. But if your mission and if your why it's strong, if you have a North Star, and we did have that because we really wanted to contribute to the cognitive ecosystem with our goal, you just revert back to that. And it's not about the swearing, it's not about the content, it's about staying true to your purpose and to your values, reminding yourself what you believe in and why you're doing what you're doing. So you can see here that with facts, not just words, with facts, we stay true to our goal to cover innovative content and to cover all the cultural, tech, and strategy, environmental impact, and diversity in the cloud ecosystem. We run what the WTF is cognitive ethics. WTF is open source. That's how you make sure to enforce your values. And that's also how you try to collaborate and to truly listen to the people who are in the community with you. Right. Now, we did the hard work. We've built our lovely community. It's very diverse, it's very inclusive, everything is working. But the hard part is actually to maintain that, to keep the standards as high as the very beginning, and to make sure that this process is an ongoing and stable, nurturing. So this slide is actually called, it's more than just a code of conduct, but the truth is that great place to start is actually having a code of conduct in place. And the beauty of the code of conduct is that, first of all, it's for everybody. No matter who you are in the community, if they're the lead organizers, the sponsor who paid a lot of money to be at the event, nobody is above the code of conduct and everybody should abide to that. Of course, a lapse of judgment can happen to anybody, no matter the role they cover, but it's really important to rectify that and to see how they behave, to make sure that everything is brought back to how it was before. And of course, the code of conduct is a great way to reflect and opening all the different point of views, things you might not have thought about that are very important for someone else. And last but not least, the code of conduct is the strongest reminder that you can have on your values and the values you created with your community. So, like I was saying, this is it's great that when you manage to establish a safe environment, but no matter how hard you try, you're going to find yourself at some point in a situation where you have to enforce your code of conduct. And I've been doing this job for over 10 years now, and I'm afraid it doesn't get any easier. And also, what makes it more difficult is that there's never a blanket solution to a situation. The truth is that when that happens, you really have to listen closely to the person who's talking to you, who's written the claim, and take action as soon as possible, immediately. Ultimately, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what can I do now, in this exact moment, to revert back the situation to its peaceful and normal state? And that's why I wanted to share a quick story very briefly. But this was like a while ago, a big event here in London. And as the lead organizer, I was approached by an attendee who told me that one of the speakers used inappropriate language. This attendee was very calm, and they were also very open to explain the situation to the speaker. So, of course, that's exactly what I did. I facilitated the conversation between the attendee and the speaker. And the result was the best result you could hope for in a situation like this, because the speaker issued a public apology, and they were very grateful to have the opportunity to learn. And the attendee was grateful as well, because they thanked me, and they were happy to give the speaker the opportunity to learn, and also to have the opportunity to make their point and help in rectifying the behavior. So why did I share this brief story? That's because this is where we community leaders can really, and members actually, that's where we can really make a difference. This is where we can steer conversations and create a space safe for people to speak up and to be brave enough to come to us and share their concerns. And this is why it's so important to make the code of conduct as visible and accessible as possible. It needs to be very easy to report a violation of the code of conduct. It can be also in an anonymous form, because not everybody is comfortable or feels safe in that moment to do so in a public forum. The last point of this slide is it's quite crucial, because no matter how, you need to be ready to enforce the code of conduct, but at the end of the day, we also need to remember that we are all humans, and humans make mistakes. But if your attitude and your heart are in the right place, and you're really trying to improve and rectify your mistakes, we should show empathy as well, and we should welcome this different attitude. And just remember that everybody is allowed to make mistakes, and if they're willing to improve, we should welcome that as well. Right. So we are at the end. So as promised, I'm gonna share some key takeaways that hopefully are gonna help you in your journey. So the first one is that it's very easy to bond over negativity. It's very easy to complain and say, it's hard to build a diverse community. Oh, it's so big now. How we can make sure that all the values are included. How to make sure that everybody is safe. But I really hope that what I showed today can demonstrate that it's actually much stronger to bond and to connect on positivity and on shared beliefs, because what you can achieve can go way beyond. The second takeaway is that you really need to listen. Like we said, we need to give people space. You need to make them comfortable to speak their minds and really understand what they mean and how to make them feel safe. But to do so, and it's takeaway number 3, it's also very important for you to know yourself, know what you believe in, know what makes you feel safe, so you can build that foundation for the others. And the last point, extremely important, is that we're all accountable. Doesn't matter if you're the leader of the community, if you are like one of the community members, or if you're just a visitor of that community. You can make a difference. We all make a difference in every small gesture, and we should be aware of that is not up to them or the other person. Is up to all of us to really improve and to create a safe environment. So this is the end of the talk, and this is also my dog. But I just want to thank you, and I really hope this was useful, and I hope you'll be able to build your great and inclusive community. So thank you.
Thank you, Carla, and thank you everybody for your questions. I'm sure you'll all agree that Carla is a deep expert in this space and how important community is to the growth of open source, not just here in the UK, but globally. Next week, we're going to have the 7th episode of State of Open Subset, and that will be brought to you by Andrew Williams, the CEO at Fine Labs in Edinburgh. And Andy's going to be talking about apps for us, a bit more of a technical session next week. In the meantime, if you would like to join us at Open UK's meetups in London or get involved around the country in hosting a meetup, you can do that by dropping a note to admin@openuk.uk or looking on openuk.uk website, where you'll find a meetup section, an event section which shows you not only Subset and the other Open UK events, but also the events we're attending, like DevOps Days Birmingham, and other events across the globe. Thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next time.